That the prosperity of the Roaring Twenties was built on sand. The party is over, the bill has come due, and ordinary people, millions upon millions of them, are the ones who will pay it. As you drift towards sleep, your empty stomach growling, you wonder how long this can last. Surely things will improve soon, the government will step in, the economy will recover, life will return to normal. But deep down, this isn't a temporary setback. This is something new, something vast and terrible. This is the Great Depression, and it's just getting started. You've made it to 1930 somehow. The winter was brutal, not just the cold, but the grinding uncertainty of each day. Every morning, the same question: will I eat today? Your apartment is gone now, couldn't make rent after December, you're staying at the YMCA when you can scrape together 15 cents for a bed on park benches when you can't. Central Park has become an unofficial campground for the newly homeless. At night, if you squint, the clusters of makeshift shelters almost look like a festival. Almost. "Morning, Professor," says Joe, nodding as you emerge from your spot beneath a cluster of pine trees. Joe was a construction worker before the crash. Now he's the unofficial mayor of this section of the park. He calls everyone Professor, regardless of their former occupation. "Any leads today?" you ask, stretching your stiff limbs. "Heard they're hiring at the docks. Just day labour, but it's something." You nod your thanks and head toward the harbour. The docks are always worth checking, though the competition for work is fierce. 500 men might show up for 20 spots unloading cargo, if there's even cargo to unload. International trade is drying up fast. The scene at the docks is exactly as you expected, a sea of desperate men. Some have been dockhands all their lives, their bodies shaped by years of lifting and hauling. Others, like you, are newcomers to this world, former office workers and shopkeepers. The foreman appears at 6 sharp. "Need 20 today," he shouts above the murmur of the crowd. The press of bodies is immediate, everyone surging forward. You're caught in the middle, pushed and pulled. Someone's elbow catches your ribs. Another man steps on your foot, but you keep moving forward. The foreman points randomly. You. Each man selected quickly steps aside, relief washing over their faces. By some miracle, you're chosen. Maybe it's because you've managed to keep your clothes relatively clean. Maybe it's just dumb luck. Either way, you're working today. The work is brutal, unloading crates from a ship that's come in from South America. Coffee mostly. The irony isn't lost on you. You haven't tasted real coffee in months, making do with reused grounds or chicory substitutes. Now you're handling crates of the stuff, worth more than you'll earn in a month. "Slow boat," comments one of the veteran dockhands during a rare break. "Usually 3 ships a week from Brazil, now maybe 1. "Why's that?" you ask, gulping water from a communal bucket. "Tariffs," he spits. "Goddamn smoot, Hawley. President signed it last month, raised taxes on imports to protect American jobs. But you know what happens when we tax their goods? They tax ours back," you reply. "Bingo, Professor." He doesn't know Joe calls you that too. "So now nobody's buying, nobody's selling, and we're all screwed 6 ways from Sunday." The Smoot-Hawley tariff. You'd read about it in the papers. Over 1,000 economists had signed a petition begging President Hoover not to sign it. But Congress pushed it through and Hoover caved. Now international trade, already wounded by the crash, was being strangled by protectionist policies. By noon, your back is screaming and your hands are raw, but you've earned $1, a whole dollar for 6 hours of back-breaking labour. 5 years ago, you'd have scoffed at such wages. Today, it feels like winning the lottery. Same time tomorrow? You ask the foreman as he hands you your pay. He shakes his head. Ships unloaded, nothing else scheduled this week. And just like that, you're unemployed again. You use a nickel to ride the subway uptown, not towards Central Park, but to Grand Central Station. You've made a decision. New York is dying. Time to try somewhere else. The station is both busy and eerily quiet. People move with purpose, but there's a hushed quality, as if everyone's afraid to make too much noise. The giant departures board clacks as it updates. You scan for the cheapest destinations. Chicago? Your parents are there, but the shame of returning home is still too much. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, more industrial cities, probably suffering just as much as New York. Then you see it, Kansas City, the heart of farming country. Surely farmers are still doing okay. People always need to eat, right? And the ticket is just $8.75. You can almost afford it with your day's wages. You approach the ticket counter. When's the next train to Kansas City? 8:15 tonight, says the bored-looking clerk. I'll take it. You count out your money carefully, almost all of your dollar from today, plus most of your meager savings. You're left with 45 cents to your name, but you have a ticket out. The train is crowded, mostly with people leaving the city rather than coming to it. You find a seat next to an elderly man reading a newspaper. Heading west? He asks, folding his paper. Kansas City, you reply. Thought I might find work on the farms. He gives you a look that's half pity, half amusement. Might want to rethink that plan, son. He hands you his newspaper, folded to show a headline, Dust Storms Ravage Plains, Crops Destroyed. The article describes apocalyptic scenes across Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Years of over-farming combined with drought have turned the topsoil to dust. Massive clouds of it sweeping across the plains, burying farms and towns. Been farming outside Wichita for 40 years, the old man says. Never seen anything like it. Dust gets into everything. Your clothes, your food, your lungs. Can't grow a damn thing. So why are you going back, you ask. It's still home, he says simply. Where else would I go? You stare out the window as the train rumbles west, watching America roll by. The countryside should be beautiful in June, but instead it looks tired, neglected. Abandoned cars rust by the roadside. Farms sit empty, fields untended. You fall asleep eventually, lulled by the rhythm of the train. When you wake, the landscape has changed. Flatter now, the Great Plains stretching to the horizon, but the sky has a strange colour, brownish, hazy. Dust, says your companion, noticing your confused expression. We're getting close. Kansas City, when you arrive, is coated in a fine layer of brown. It's on the buildings, the streets, the few cars that move slowly through the haze. People wear bandanas over their faces as they walk. Some have goggles to protect their eyes. You pull your shirt up over your nose as you step off the train. The dust immediately coats your tongue, gritty and dry. Oh, first time in dust country? Asks a porter, noticing your reaction. You get used to it, or you leave. Your plan to find farm work is clearly dead on arrival. If farmers can't even grow crops, they sure as hell aren't hiring. But you're here now with 45 cents and no return ticket. The porter seems to read your mind. If you're looking for work, try the rail yards. They're always needing men to clean the engines. Dust gets in the machinery. The rail yards are on the edge of town, a sprawling complex of tracks, roundhouses and repair sheds. You find the foreman's office easily enough. Got experience with trains? He asks, not looking up from his paperwork. Quick learner, you offer. He sighs, finally meeting your eyes. Everyone's a quick learner these days. Got hundreds of quick learners looking for work. You're about to turn away when he adds, but I need someone right now. Engine 4522 came in caked with dust. Needs to be cleaned before it seizes up completely. Pays 30 cents an hour. It's less than the docks in New York, but it's something. I'll take it. The work is even worse than unloading coffee. You're squeezed into the cramped spaces of a locomotive, scrubbing dust from every surface, every gear, every pipe. The air is thick with it, despite the bandana over your face. Your eyes sting, your throat burns. By day's end, you're filthy, exhausted, and have earned a grand total of $240. The foreman seems satisfied with your work. Come back tomorrow, he says. Got 3 more engines need cleaning. You find a boarding house that charges 50 cents a night. It's cleaner than the YMCA in New York, at least. You use some of your earnings to buy dinner at a cheap diner. Actual hot food, the first real meal you've had in weeks. The diner is half empty, but those who are there seem to be railroad men. Their conversations revolve around reduced schedules, routes being cut. Passenger service to Denver's being suspended, one says. Not enough riders to justify the run. Freight to Chicago's down 60%, adds another. Used to be 6 trains daily, now it's 2 and they're half empty. The railroads were America's arteries, carrying goods and people across the continent. Now they're clotting, slowing, failing, another symptom of the economic disease spreading through the nation. You work at the rail yards for a week, cleaning engines and eventually helping with simple repairs. The dust is a constant enemy, working its way into everything, but the pay is steady and you're able to save a little. On Sunday, your day off, you explore Kansas City. The downtown is a mix of beautiful Art Deco buildings and emptied storefronts. Roughly a third of businesses appear closed. For rent and going out of business signs paper the windows. A small crowd has gathered outside a bank. Your stomach drops. Another bank run. But as you get closer, you realise it's not that. The bank is already closed, permanently. People are just standing there, staring at the locked doors, as if willing them to open. Had my life savings in there, says a woman, noticing your gaze. 28 years of careful saving, gone. They didn't give you anything, you ask. She gives a bitter laugh. 10 cents on the dollar. My $6,000 became $600, not even enough to pay off my mortgage. You do the math in your head. That's more money than you've ever had, and it vanished overnight. What will you do, you ask. She shrugs. My sister's in St. Louis, says I can stay with her. Better than the street, I guess. By August, the dust storms are getting worse. Some days the sky turns completely black at noon, as if night has fallen early. People call them black blizzards. The dust is so thick it suffocates livestock in the fields. Children die from dust pneumonia, their lungs filled with dirt. The railroad work begins to dry up. Cutting back, the foreman tells you, can only offer 3 days a week now. It's not enough to live on. You need another plan. You hear rumours that California is better off. The farms in the Central Valley are still producing. There's work picking fruit, harvesting vegetables. You've met several families heading that way, packing everything they own onto ancient cars and trucks. Go west, young man, jokes a fellow railroad worker, quoting Horace Greeley, though California ain't what it used to be either. You consider it. Your savings from the railroad work would buy a bus ticket to Los Angeles, but something holds you back. Maybe it's caution, maybe it's fear of the unknown, or maybe it's the stories you've heard. California police stationed at the state borders, turning away undesirables without proof of employment or sufficient funds. Instead, you decide to head south. Texas, Louisiana, the Gulf Coast, warmer climates where winter won't be as threatening. The bus ride to Houston takes 2 days. You arrive with sore muscles and 632 to your name. The city is bustling compared to Kansas City. The oil industry has cushioned the blow somewhat, though even here the depression's effects are visible. You find work at the docks again, this time loading cotton onto ships bound for England. It's seasonal work. The cotton harvest has just come in, but the pay is decent. 45 cents an hour, 10-hour days. You can actually save money. The boarding house you find is full of men like you, drifters, workers following jobs wherever they appear. The conversations at dinner each night are a catalogue of America's suffering. Spent the spring in Detroit, says a wiry man named Frank. Auto plants all but shut down. Ford went from 5-day work weeks to 3. People living in the factories because they got nowhere else to go. Chicago's worse, adds another. Tried to get work at the stockyards. They're killing cattle by the thousands. Government buying them just to prop up prices. Perfectly good beef being destroyed while people starve. A pattern emerges in these stories. The disconnect between abundance and scarcity. Farmers ploughing under crops they can't sell while city dwellers go hungry. Factories sitting idle while their products are desperately needed. Money concentrated in banks and corporate coffers while ordinary people have none. One night, a new arrival joins the dinner table. His name is Klaus, a German immigrant who'd been working as an engineer in Pennsylvania until the steel mills closed. America bad now? Yes, he says in accented English. But Europe, he makes a gesture like an explosion, much worse. He tells you about his family back in Berlin. His brother, an accountant, lost his job when German banks began failing in the spring. The unemployment rate in Germany is over 30% now. People are literally starving in the streets. Government does nothing, Klaus says. Too weak. People getting angry, looking for someone to blame. Who do they blame, you ask? Klaus's expression darkens. Jews, mostly. Communists. Foreigners, easy targets. There's a party, he continues, National Socialists, Nazis, they call them, very small before, now growing. Their leader, Hitler, he tells people he will make Germany strong again. Fix economy. Give people jobs, food. And people believe him.